subscribe, please click the like button, share and subscribe. It's free.
What we found insofar as Ms. Kelly Kumalo is concerned, but then it didn't end there, my lord. You need to investigate the others so that you can see if there was no collusion. That's how you actually deal with the truth, and that's what I did, my lord.
Okwakwenzeka la ukuthi kwakumshushisi owayesehola ngokuthi uphenyo luhamba kanjani. Ngoba ngithi uma ungumuntu umuntu uyaphenya asiphenyela ukuthi sithole iqiniso, asiphenyeli nje ukuthi sivele sisho esifuna ukusho. Ngoba ngishilo ukuthi ke into eyenze ukuthi siye kumsolo wokuqala nesibili ukuthi nje kwavela indaba yokuthi upheli Khumalo owasenza ukuthi sicabanga ukuthi kufanele siye kumsolo wokuqala nowesibili. And futhi ke uma uyophenya ufanele uphenyele ukuthi uthole ulwazi oluzoqinisekisa lokho osukutholile. Ngoba kwakungekho lutho silibona lulubi ngalobufakazi esasithole kuZandi Khumalo.
But the bottom line is you never approached them for an identification parade. So
there was no directive that it must be held, my lord. I just, with greatest respect, explained it now, my lord, and I dealt with it yesterday.
Thank you. But now, in contrast to what you did to Longwe, Khumalo, Zandi and Kelly by not approaching them for an identification parade, whilst because amongst others, you already knew the identity of the perpetrators. Why did you then have to approach Madlala and Twala when you already knew the identity of the perpetrators?
Yeah, see, my lord, I don't know how to explain this really. Yesterday, this question, my lord, came as a result, and this is how it came about, because now it's being put to me differently. It came about from Advocate MNISI saying, I would have needed these people who were in the house to help me identify the perpetrators. And my response was that by the time we go to them, we already had sight of these perpetrators linked by the evidence that was obtained. That is the sequence of it. So now it's been put differently as if now I selected that I need this one to help me to identify people. It's not how it unfolded, my lord. It unfolded exactly as I'm explaining.
abasisizayo ukuthi sikwazi ukukhomba abantu kodwa ke thina besisithole obukwazi ukuxhumanisa nalabantu laba esithi sasibona kuabaso.
That is why, my lord, I said before you arrange an identity parade, you need to know your suspect, because then you need to obviously make proper arrangements as to how many participants will be there, how must they look like, and so forth and so forth. So you cannot, and I've said this earlier, my lord, arrange an ID parade without knowing. So when it comes to Madlala, at that stage, my lord, the suspects were known, and they were known because right at the beginning, my lord, through Absalom Zong, which I've indicated, Constable Zong, Exhibit HH, JJ, prior to that, confessions by accused 1 and 2, you know, all the collaboration, that evidence it led us eventually to all the accused, my lord. That is before we approach any of the witnesses or the people who were inside the house, my lord.
Awukwazi ukuthi wenze ikhomba ungakabazi abasolo bakho ufanele bazi abasolo bakho ukuthi obani ukuze ukwazi ukuthi uwenze amalungiselelo ukuthi kube nekhomba uyazi ukuthi udinga abantu abangaki and abantu abanjani. Futhi ke uMadlala lona ke kwafika ukuthi kusho ukuthi abasolo laba sasesazi ukuthi obani ngoba kwakukhona ubufakazi obabesihole ekutheni sigcine sazi ukuthi laba basola obani.
I'm done, my lord. Yes.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, Longwe was one of the persons that was in the house. When this incident happened, and he also, when requested to give an identity of the perpetrators who accosted them, he did that with distinctions.
My Lord, can I request the ID parade form? Just for ease of reference, just to make sure that myself and Advocate MNISI were on the same page with regard to this last assertion that is put into me, my Lord. Advocate.
I only have one with me. I thought as an investigating officer it must be there on your main file.
Yes, but we exchange documents from time to time, and I gave it to the state, my Lord.
With who? Who you exchange documents?
The state.
From time to time?
The state.
Oh, with Advocate BALOI.
Yes.
Thank you, madam. May I proceed? Yeah. Do you
Yes, you
have in
can
your
proceed.
possession that document?
You can proceed, yes.
Thank you. Now, Advocate Longwe Twala, Mr. Longwe Twala penned several statements here. I think there is A9, there is A113. Now, I'm referring to, there is A57 in bracket 1. No. I think it's A57. They just marked those pages in bracket 1, 2, 3, and yes. That is now A9, A113, and A57.
Yes, my Lord, I agree. You made various statements, so I take it what Advocate MNISI is telling me is correct, because I know you made different statements, various statements, my Lord. I can agree with it.
So, maybe before we proceed on this aspect, did you have a consultation with Longwe Twala?
Yes, we did, my Lord.
Did you take him through the statements?
Yes, my Lord.
Thank you. So they were basically authenticated. There's no dispute about who wrote the statement and the content thereof. Not so.
Well, the fact that he made statements, my Lord, that was agreed that he made statements, but there were a lot of inconsistencies in terms of what is contained in the statement and what he was recalling when we were consulting with him, my Lord.
Statement kodwa kuningi nje okungaqondakalela ngaphakathi kwalesi statement.
I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about authentication of the statement. When you referred him to A9, he said, yeah, no, that's me. When you referred him to A113, he said, that's me. And when also there's one statement that I did not refer you to, that is A106. But then when you refer to him again to A57, he said, yeah, no, that's the statement I made. And to A106, he also said, that is the statement that I also made. That is what I'm interested on, let alone the content of those statements.
That is not correct. It's not how you authenticate a statement. You identify the signature and also agree with the content, and also agree that there was no miscommunication between you and the interpreter, and confirm the contents.
So, Brigadier, is that what you did? When you were taking Longwe Twala through these statements that I'm going to refer you to now, is that what you did? Longwe Twala, A9, is that your statement? Was it commissioned before you? Did you append your signature? This is a consultation process, unless you're telling me that you really do not know how to consult with the witness. And this being a prosecutor-led investigation, they should have guided you. Thank you.
The witnesses already said there were inconsistencies in the statement. I don't know what counsel wants the witness to say.
I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about the person who wrote the statement. There could have been inconsistencies, there could have been discrepancies, there could have been misunderstanding in the content of the statement, but this statement remained his. The question is, when you took him through, and that is what you said, that you did, when you took him through these statements, did you say to him, Longwe, Amchelendo, the signature that is appearing there, is it yours?
When the woman bear this statement, naye kulongwe wamkhombisa ini la exsigniwe khona wambuza ukuthi la exsigniwe la wena wasayina yini.
So, my lord, I think I've answered this question, that when I consulted with Mr. Longwe Twala, there was, insofar as what he remembers and what was contained in the statement, there was a big difference. There was no consistency. So there is no statement which he owns to say, this is how I recall. And that's what I answered earlier when this question was put to me.
Ngiphendulile phambili nathi akukhona ukungahambisani walento ayikhuluma naloko okubhalwe ku statement.
And I can add, my lord, that the last consultation we had with Mr. Longwe Twala even happened at the DPP, because the state advocate wanted it obvious in preparation of the trial. Even in that instance, there were these inconsistencies of not him being able. So you couldn't take A9, for example, and then say, he then says, yes, I agree with the contents wholeheartedly. That's what I was saying, my lord, initially.
Hayi futhi sagcina sesiyena kwa-DPP yini ngoba u-state advocate wayefuna ukukhulumisana naye ukuzama ukulungiselela icala, kodwa nakhona-ke lapho kwakuningi okwakubonakala ukuthi cha akahambisani nakho, akakuvumi ukuthi yebo kwakuyi-statement sami leso.
Thank you. Justice. Just a second, madam. Thank you. In the list of state witnesses, the Longwe that I'm referring to is the one that is appearing as a witness number 3 in the list of witnesses in terms of section 144, 3A of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. Now, in the course of disclosure, when we are preparing for this trial, this is what the state gave us. And I'm going to start with A113. I'll come back to the others. Now, like I did with Ms. Makumalo, the senior, I will not go through the statement with regard to what was happening in their house, whether they were eating, how they were seated, and stuff like that. No, we're not concerned about that for now. You see, all that we're concerned about is what this trial is about, the identity of the perpetrators. I'm going to limit my approach in terms of this statement to that. And on paragraph 5, this is what it says in A113. In paragraph 5, this is what it says. It says, they all started cracking jokes and we all laughed. Just as Kelly was about to tell the joke, I noticed the 2 black guys, one tall, light in complexion, and the other one with dreadlocks was short and dark in complexion. He was wearing a khaki jacket. The first guy went towards Kelly with the shorter one following him. The one with the dreadlocks cocked or breached the firearm and demanded the cell phones and money in isiZulu. Then there was a struggle between Kelly and the other guy on the door to open. I stood up and tried to rush for the guy with the firearm, and not knowing that he will shoot me, and I got a chance to escape through the kitchen door. That is paragraph number 5. Now, the gist, my question, or the gist of my approach is his description of the guy who had a firearm, which the state is telling this court that it is accused number 3. Let us go to his description. He says, I noticed the 2 black guys, one tall, light in complexion, and the other one with dreadlocks was short and dark in complexion. He was wearing a khaki jacket. Let us just pause there.
Ayisibheke lapha incazelo nomuntu okuthiwa wesiphethe isibhamu wathiwa bangena abantu ababili omunye okuqala ke kwawumuntu omude okhanyayo owesibili kuthiwa umuntu kwawanama-dreadlocks wemfishane futhi ke ensundu yena.
The photo is just disappeared on the screen. Thank you.
My Lord, I'm not sure whether I'm expected to speculate. I've indicated, my Lord, that when we engage with Mr. Twala, Longwe Twala, there was no understanding that any of these statements, he was not according himself with any of these statements. So I do not know really how to assist in what has been put to me, because I'm not the author of these statements. I was not there when they were taken. I only came in at the later stage. The only thing that I can say, if now questions are put to me, I'm really going to speculate and identify because I was not there. When we met him, and I've even took it further, my Lord, that the last meeting we had with him, it was with the state advocate, both advocates that are here for the state. And it was the same situation where he could not attach himself to any of the statements. Now, how it's a difficult situation. I don't know how to assist in responding to this question, my Lord.
Thank you.
Understanding. So you did not affirm any of the statements?
No, I did not, my Lord.
You didn't make Longwe tell you his version?
Yes.
And thereafter administer the oath to
Yes.
Longwe in each of the statements?
In all the statements.
Never, ever, in all
Not
the statements.
ever.
A1, 333, 56, etc.
All of them, my
Never.
Lord. I've never.
Okay.
It's the same with Miss Gladys Kumalo as well. I didn't affirm any of her statements. It's the same position. Same with Kelly Kumalo, none of them were affirmed by me. Same with Zandi Kumalo, none of them were affirmed by me, my Lord.
Mina ngaqinisekisa isitatimende yokuthiwa lesi sikaThwala nesikazandi Khumalo nesikakeli Khumalo.
Thank you. You did not have to affirm the statement because that has already been done in 2014. You just had to go there and confirm the statement, but nonetheless, let me proceed. Now, Longwe Twala identifies or describes, not identifies, describes the person that had a firearm in possession on that day as a person with dreadlocks and with a dark complexion. That is what it says. Now, you do well if you say, I don't know whether I need to speculate or what. If you, we don't want speculation. If you don't have a comment, say I don't have a comment or no answer. But please don't speculate. But this is what Longwe says in this statement. Now, again, Longwe also attended an identification parade. Are you aware of that?
Yazi ukuthi uLongwe waya kukhomba.
Yes, I am aware, my Lord.
Ethi yebo ngiyazi.
That is the same identification parade that Makhumalo also attended, not so?
Ethi yona le khomba ukwakhona uMakhumalo anginjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Ye unjalo.
Thank you. Now, Longwe was called as witness number, in terms of the form, in terms of the identification parade form, on paragraph number 25, he was called as the first witness to get into the area where he had to go and identify. And the results were as follows. Actually, let me read paragraph number 25 into the record. It says, or is written in Afrikaans and English. In Afrikaans it says, Eerste Getuie, de naam Longwe Twala, taal Zulu. Is gevra om die verdagte of verdagtes en die topparade uit te wys deur sy hand, els kouers aan te maak, wat dat aan tydplek en klagte, that was in brackets. Now this one, the passage was meaning the parade wrote here. He says, robbed you, shot and killed Senzo at 13511 at Kotwanong Street, Nzamo section, extension 111, forced arrest on 26 October 2014 at 2000 hours. Now, subparagraph 1 of paragraph 25 says, tyd deur getuie geneem om persoon op paraat uit te wys. The time that is taken by the suspect to, by the witness to identify the suspect, says 3 minutes. Then it says 8 slag are results. Then it says, I suspect number 11, Zamambata, wearing a fawn t-shirt with stripes and blue check trouser. Reactie van getuie tydens uitwysings van persone, none. Now, at the identification parade, Longwe goes and identifies the person that is being as having number 11 on the screen. That is Mr. Mbata. Longwe says, this is the person who, according to my observation, had a firearm on that day. And this accords exactly with the description that it gave. Dreadlocks and dark in complexion.
Manje lapha kukhomba uLongwe Twala khomba lo muntu waphethe number 11 ukwakuMbatha. Athi ke yena ule muntu lo wayephethe isibhamu and akusebenzisa kakhulu kwemkhombeni ukuthi wayena dreadlocks futhi wayenebala elinsundu.
Man, like I said, I don't know where I'm expected to speculate because really, I don't know. I was not part of this ID parade. I did not arrange this ID parade. All I can say is that in all Mr. Longwe Twala's statements, nowhere does he mention the perpetrator by name. These results is clearly specific that he suspects number 11, Zamambata. He mentions this person by name. And in all his statements, nowhere does he say he knows the person by name. And that is why I said, my lord, the identification of this individual was investigated and it was found that this was the wrong identification. That was the result, that was the outcome of the investigation after this person was arraigned, charged and taken through the process.
So, I don't understand it again. You say there was a doctor at the last interview of Longwe together with the DPP's, at the DPP's office.
Yes, Dr. Togwe. No. I'm referring to this doctor. Our doctor. Yeah, the PhD doctor, my lord. Dr. Sibanda.
So you want to involve Dr. Togwe also?
No. Dr. Sibanda, my lord.
Thank you. And in the statement that he gives the description of the suspect, which he ultimately identified at the identification parade, was commissioned on the 25th of November 2015. 25 November 2015. I think can only assume, I wasn't there, that this was the day on which this statement was taken. In 25 November 2015, it's almost a year after this incident had happened. It would still describe the person who had a firearm in his possession. Thank you.
Shouldn't ngomhla 25 kuNovember 2015 kwase kudlule unyaka emva kosuku lesigameko lo kodwa ke la kuyabonakala ukuthi wayesakwazi ukuthi achaze ukuthi lo muntu wayephethe isibhamu kanjani.
My Lord, like I said, I think we've dealt with this matter, my Lord. This accused was charged after this ID parade, arraigned, taken to the bail, I think was even opposed, but later investigations at that time, my Lord, revealed that this is the wrong person, and subsequently the matter was then removed from the roll. That was right at the beginning. Subsequent to that, my Lord, there was no evidence that was found that this person was indeed, this person was investigated. Even after the matter was removed, my Lord, there was thorough investigation and he was excluded by means of DNA and all other evidence that was collected at the time, including his alibi, where he was when this incident took place was confirmed. When I got involved, I also looked into that and I did not find anything that suggests that this is the person who was involved. So we are dealing with someone that was excluded in the investigation, my Lord.
Lo muntu lo okhuluma ngayo sekwabonakala ukuthi kwangena ngoba nanoma ke kwakhonjwa lapha wathathwa lo muntu wayiswa enkantolo waboshwa ngikhumbula nokuthi nebhayili yakhe wanqatshelwa ukuthi athole ibhoyili kodwa ke emva kokuthi ke afathwe enkantolo kwenziwe nophe kwabonakala ukuthi cha akuyena lo muntu leli cala laze ligcina lichithiwe futhi ke sasesizinto eziningi zokuthi silethi isiqiniseko sokuthi akuyena ngempela ngoba kwahlolwa nokuthi laba athi bangamsiza ukuchaza ukuthi wayengekho lapho ngendaba ngosuku lesigameko yebo sahamba sokhuluma nabo sakwazi ukuthi sithole leso siqiniseko sasebenzisa nolibofuzo i-DNA ukuthi sihlole ne-DNA yasisiza ukuthi kubonakale ukuthi akuyena.
Furthermore, my Lord, even the DNA, the court will remember that I dealt with the DNA that excluded everyone that was in that were the people with the witnesses who were inside the house. This person was not picked up by any inch of the DNA. So I'm talking about exclusion, that it was not merely investigators deciding that we are excluding this individual. Extensive investigation was done, which I've looked at, and it was excluded because there was no objective evidence, my Lord, that was found. But most importantly, my Lord, this witness, this accused or this suspect rather, was a known resident. In other words, it's a person that if he was the perpetrator, as the name is being mentioned, from the beginning, people would have said, the perpetrator, we know him, is Zamambata. That was not the case. This was a local person. It's not a person that was arrested from another town, brought in this place. And those facts, unfortunately, my Lord, when they were taken into account, this person was already arrested. And that's why the importance of collaboration is important. That is why when I received the confessions, I did not rush to say, now that we have a confession, it's now a ticket. People must now be arraigned. You try and get evidence to collaborate so that you find objective and indisputable evidence to avoid such things, my Lord.
Njengoba ngikhulumile ukuthi DNA ulibofuzo lwasetshenziswa futhi lapha ulibofuzo lwasiza ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sibone ukuthi cha ngempela akuyena lo muntu ngoba lwamchitha impela lwamke ngokwathatha ulibofuzo labantu bonke ababelapha endlini futhi kwasiza lo ukuthi sikwazi ukubona ukuthi ngempela akuyena lona ngoba phela thina sasifuna ukufakaza okungaphikiseki and futhi ke njengoba wayeumuntu owaziwayo ohlala endaweni azi ukuthi ubani ukuthi negama lakhe uZamambata ukuyena ngempela babeyosho ukuthi cha siyabazi lo kwakuZamambata manje kwakungekho ufazi okushoyo ukuthi uyena.
Thank you for that piece of collaboration, Brigadier GININDA. Then let's go to A57. This is also a statement that was disclosed to us by the state in preparation of this trial, that was penned by Longwe Twala, wherein amongst others he describes the two perpetrators that got into the house. And the statement was commissioned on the 6th of November 2014. 06 November 2014. As I've said initially, I won't go through the statement. Because the purpose of my cross-examination at this point in time is nothing else but to dwell or to deal with the identity of the perpetrators. Unfortunately, this statement is not numbered in terms of paragraphs, but A57 on the second page. On top there, it's written A57 in bracket 1. The second page is written A57 in bracket 2. The third page is written A57 in bracket 3. The fourth page, bracket 4, and the fifth page, bracket 5. Now, I'm going to deal with the second page. That is marked A57 in bracket 2. The last paragraph, where it starts with the name Kelly. And I'm going to read it. Now it reads as follows. Now this is a statement that was penned by Longwe Twala. It reads as follows. Kelly was telling a joke, and we were all sitting down listening to her. Bagla door was wide opened, and the door was half opened. I noticed two guys got inside the house. The one who came first was short, dark, having dreadlocks, with cheekbones, wearing a jacket between khaki or light brown bracket beige jacket. I cannot remember his other clothing. Immediately the tall one followed. He was wearing a black hoodie, but light in complexion. That is all I remember about him. The tall one went to Kelly, and the other one in bracket short was following that tall one. But I stood up, pushed the short one away, but it's when I noticed the firearm on his hand. I cannot remember whether it was right or left hand. I noticed a firearm and quickly ran out of the door. Madam, I realize that it is almost 17 minutes past 11. Normally at this time, there would be a request that we take a short adjournment. May I make that request as well? Thank you.
Yeah.
Family, we are back again. We are back again. This is Zebra Family Channel. We are back again. What is going on in court today? It's really, really terrible. And MNISI, I understand he was having some kind of stomach problem, and I don't know what really happened. But when they went for break, it was kind of like there was something really serious wrong. But we'll see as they come back what will really happen. Family, I'm really, really concerned about what is happening. The way they are defending Longwe Twala. They don't want to hear anything about Longwe Twala. They are defending to the end. You can see that there is war that is going to be waged up as long as Longwe Twala's name comes up in that court. They don't want to hear anything. They are defending statements that were made by Longwe Twala, that were identifying the person, whoever they say was an intruder. They say he was short, dark, with dreads. Makumalo said the same thing. Zandi said the same thing. But the way Brigadier and BALOI, they are trying to defend this, I don't know why they are doing it. They know why they are doing it, but it's really wrong because now they want to pin the wrong person in court. Because remember, the gun too was not a 9mm. It was a gun with a wheel, which was a 38 special. But the gun that has been tested there, that has been pinned to accused number 3, it's a 9mm. It doesn't correspond what eyewitnesses saw. They don't want to go with eyewitnesses. They want to go with Zungu, what Zungu is telling them, which is really bad. Family, what do you think about this? This is really terrible what is happening in court. Just drop your comment and tell us what you think about it. But I don't think they're doing any good. But MNISI is going on and hammering on that point because he wants to make it clear that what they're trying to do with his client is unfair. Because even in the DNA, they were all 5 excluded. On the head DNA swap, they were excluded. So I don't understand how they're going to build a case that was not built. Because the case that brigadier is being in court, it was not constructed through the people who were in the house to get exactly how the people who came in the house, how did they look like, and all these kind of things. But he constructed the case with Zungu, Constable Zungu, and Zungu's father, Constable Zungu's father. It's not fair. This should be said, and we shouldn't bend down, because we see what the judge today is trying to do too. He's trying to raise up, because it's like when Longwe Twala's name is coming up, the judge really wakes up, and BALOI wakes up, and they don't want to hear anything that is going to do with Longwe Twala. He is really being protected. I don't know how long they will protect it, because they still Umalo coming, and there's Mshololo. After Mshololo, it will be the big advocate Mgomezulu, who will tear them apart too. Family, what do you think about all what is going on here? Just drop your comment about what Rata is doing, BALOI is doing, and Brigadier GININDA is doing. But let's hope for the best, because MNISI never leave a point. He keeps on hammering until it gets to their head. Because if it doesn't get to their head, MNISI doesn't leave that point. Because whatever answer MNISI is expecting from them or Brigadier GININDA, he makes sure if Brigadier is not giving that answer, he will still go back to the same point and hammer it until he gets the answer that he wants. Bravo with MNISI, bravo. What do you think, family? Drop your comments, like and share. Then love. Let's fight, family. Bravo.